is the experience right now. Step back into the lives of Lennon and McCartney. Well, that's what the van says. Let's go. I'm documenting my trip. We're at the Liverpool station, bus station, railway station. There's a bus. It says Liverpool.
When a man buys a ticket, he knows what to expect.
Well, at least I got Chippy with me. Today we're going to John Lennon's home. Let's go right now. Subscribe, post your comments down below, and give us a thumbs up. Let's go. Bam!
Welcome aboard. I'm Colin, as you can see by there. I'm your driver for today, okay? So we're going to take you up to John's house now, where Peter will be your guide, and then I'm going to take you to Paul's, where Isaac will be your guide. We're going to have 40 minutes in each house, and eventually I'll bring you back here, okay? Are we all ready?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Beatles music, yes or no?
Yes.
No Rolling Stones? The experience. You're getting it. All right.
Imagine there's no heaven, diddle-do. It's easy if you try, diddle-do. No hell below us, diddle-do. No sky. Imagine all the people living for today.
Listen to.
Thank you. Thank you. Here it is. John Lennon's home, childhood home. You can see pictures of John in the front right here.
Changed. It all looks exactly the same. This main road that runs all the way from the Pomeranian Junction up there, and then the avenue starts and it runs right along all the way to the airport.
I gotta tell you, it's ghostly everything, and you know, because when you see the picture, the image,
Yeah, and it's still there.
and we're pretty much the anniversary of her death. How many years ago was it now?
1958, 15th of July 1958, so
Yesterday was
68, 78, 88, 98, 2008, 2018, oh, 65 years ago.
65 years ago, right here, that tragic accident, and at one moment she's over here alive. It's just wild. Yeah, you say hi to my friends. Keith, happy days.
One of the tour guides does all the tours.
Nice to meet you, Keith. I'm Stefan.
So there you go.
It's just eerie. It's just the whole, when you think about it, when you really get deep into it. I remember seeing pictures of Lennon right over here at this gate as a child.
He stood here.
That's right.
The famous picture that was taken. The beauty about this house, it's got a blue plaque. And the beauty about this house, the windows are the real deal. Them windows are the ones when John lived here with that Mimi. That glass cubicle is where John would stand and play his guitar with Paul. Because Mimi banished him to the front cubicle. Said, you're not playing that racket. You're not playing that racket in the house.
Because of the echo too, they got a good reverb.
The tile floor and the glass around John and Paul, it gave the echo what they wanted, what they were looking for. So Mimi banished him to the front porch, but she was creating a monster. That monster was Lennon and McCartney. John's bedroom was the small bedroom over the door.
Right up there.
Mimi's bedroom was the big bedroom, and the back bedroom was given to students of medicine.
Oh, really?
So she went down to the hospital, put a notice on the notice board, said young doctors need only apply. She didn't want the young nurses hanging there. So, especially with John being a teenager, she wanted the young doctor to influence John to put the guitar down and John should study to become a doctor. Guitar, you'll end up doing nothing, John. You'll end up being nothing.
It's a beautiful home.
That's why Mimi got upset when John was saying things, I'm a working class hero. You know, and I came from the working class of Liverpool. Mimi was furious because she worked hard and Uncle George worked hard to give them a lovely home. To be fair to John, in New York, he did give an interview saying, I was surrounded by lawyers and, you know, police officers and stuff in my neighbourhood. He said, I lived in quite a nice cushion neighbourhood. He said, where Ringo and George, they did come from the working classes. I was up that little step.
So that White House that I could see down there, that's Ivan's right there?
Yeah, Ivan's
Right
been
there.
here before. So Mike McCartney took this picture.
So they'd be standing right in this spot.
That's
those
in
guys.
1958. I was just taking the... Just the...
Wild.
Isn't it? And John's house, the tree in the background, the tree. You can see the
That's John's tree right there.
Yeah,
Great.
there's Ivan, by the way. Ivan went on to become a school teacher.
Is he still alive, Ivan?
No, he passed away in the late 80s, Parkinson's disease. The 251 Mendips Avenue, and that's the home of John. That's me moving. Step outside of the rich and then take our photos. Do our video.
So Julia would have been walking here, and right at that corner is where the accident would have happened. Tragic.
And so that, where the guy is now, where Mimi watched the sister walk down there, and when she got to the junction, she gave her sister a wave and walked in the road. And unfortunately, PC Eric Clegg was an off-duty police officer, and he crashed into her.
So right here's a spot where Julia was killed. Wow.
That's John Lennon, standing where you are now. As you look in the distance, there's a 1940s car and a tree going towards the left. This is Dave's car, and that's David and Mimi.
That's right here.
That's Mimi at the gate there.
Wow.
I'll take a photo and you can send that on to me then. The big massive tree.
Yeah.
That was the one he climbed up.
Oh really?
That's the one, yeah. Him and Ivan. Now this house found even more music fans in 1994 when it was chosen by the rock band Oasis for their record Live Forever.
Oh, they used that. I didn't know they used that. Wow.
That's the house.
Hello everybody, I'm Peter. Sorry about the weather. Usually blue suburban skies here. This is welcome to Mendips. What I usually do is have a chat outside, but we'll go straight in because of the weather and not having you get the cold here. But just to the porch, I'll talk about this porch, very important. John's bedroom up here, and this is where John Lennon spent more time than anywhere else in his life, 18 years on and off. Where he was brought up by his Aunt Mimi and Uncle George. And I'll tell you all about that as we go in. No photographs inside, the same applies to Portland. But if you need photos at the end, just let me know and we'll go and take some by the door and everywhere else. What we're going to do now is go in through the tradesman's entrance, because Mimi didn't like anybody going in the front door. But we do get our revenge, you can leave through the front. Okay, so welcome to John's house.
Wow. There is the inside. The kitchen. Wow. All right, can I take a picture of the backyard at least? Oh. So did John play out here a lot of times?
He did.
This was his sanctuary, huh?
But on Strawberry Fields, about 500 yards away.
To get away from Mimi?
No, he got on well with Mimi.
He did.
Yeah.
And you know, it's crazy, today's the anniversary of his mother's
That's
death.
Right.
Oh, really?
Is John at home, Mrs. Lennon?
Of course. I'm seeing him later, though.
Tell him I've got a new booking.
So yeah, she crossed over just here, and what would happen is it was actually the central reservation that caused the problem. There used to be a head shear. She'd step out, and when she did, it was an off-duty trainee policeman called Eric Clegg who had run over John Lennon's mother, Julia. That was a massive problem. John's aunt Mimi would actually take it to court, and he got off with it. There was no prosecution from it. She would go around saying that he was drunk at the time, but it seemed to be no evidence of it whatsoever. But one admission of guilt was that he was sacked from the police force, Eric Clegg. And again, in one of the strangest coincidences, he became a postman, and the post route that he would have to deliver on was the post area where Paul McCartney lived.
Whoa.
So when Paul, of course, was getting shitloads of fan mail for being in the Beatles,
Wow.
PC Eric Clegg was delivering the fan mail to Forthland Road at that time.
Wow.
That's crazy to consider. And there might have even been moments where John might have been in the house with Paul when that could have happened. We just don't know. He was a postman, and that was his route, which was where Paul McCartney lived. That's crazy.
That is a crazy story.
But I'll be honest, I think from studying the life of John Lennon that the single biggest thing to happen in John Lennon's life was his mother dying. Above anything else, above the hype of Beatlemania, above anything else in his life, the biggest thing that happened to him was on this day in 1958 when John's mother was ran over and killed on this road. It seemed to destroy John. It created this rebellious character as well that was troubled and damaged, you know, when in reality we think of John's upbringing and it seems like it was actually quite good in some ways. Mimi brought him up well. You know, he was looked after, very well educated, well dressed, you know, cared for. But losing his mother at 17 seems to be the thing that really tips John Lennon over the edge.
Wow. And this was the home of John's mother, Julia, her last home. Wow. It's pretty wild. You can see this in there. And there's a fireplace. So John would have practiced guitar in here, played music with Julia. In the garden right here, share with you guys. Not a plaque on the wall. Nothing. Just an empty home. Wow.
16, I re-established a relationship with my mother for about 4 years. She taught me music, and then unfortunately she was run over by an off-duty policeman.
Liverpool. Tell you a bit about the house. It was built in 1933. It was already called Mendips. Mimi loved that because she was into status. Because this whole road, all the houses had names like Cotswolds and Waterfalls and Dunrow and all this type of stuff. So this was the house that John was brought up. Because his own parents' marriage was dissolved in 1942. His father stayed away at sea, and the family said, look, John needs a house to come home to. So his mother Julia agreed that Mimi and George could bring him up. And she would still come and see him at least once a week here to see if he had everything he needed. But John was brought up in a very happy household. And people say, how could Mimi and George afford a house like this? Because it is, as when Paul first saw it, he looked up and he said, that's a posh house in a posh area. And it is. And the reason they could afford it is that Uncle George was the dairy farmer for the whole area. He ran the milk round. Now when the war came, the land was taken off him and was given to the war effort. So he needed a few jobs, but they didn't pay as well. So Mimi, being very shrewd, she brought in paying guests, student lodgers. So for a big period of his life, John was brought up surrounded by students. And again, Mimi being quite into status, she had 2 Persian cats, top of the range Persian cats. And she knew the type of students she wanted. They had to be from the University of Liverpool, and they had to be vets. Knew what she was doing. John had his own cat called Tim and a collie dog called Sally, which one day went out the front gate and never came back. Now this was the start of a series of losses that John was going to encounter throughout his life.
My mother was a real big fan of music, and she was really happy about having the guys around, you know, and John was always keen to get out of his house because of his Aunt Mimi was kind of very stern and strict, and she embarrassed him. I remember going to John's house once when I first had met him. I was still at the Institute, and we were trying to look like teddy boys, which was like that style in those days. And I must have looked pretty good because she was like, she didn't like me at all. She was really shocked. She said, look at him, you know, who is this? Bringing this boy around to this house. You look at him, he looks dreadful, like a teddy boy. And he'd just say, shut up, Murray, shut up.
We would like to sing a song now which was a record for us, and it was our first hit in England. And this is in England, way back in England. And this song was released in America. It didn't do anything.
Please Please is my song, Complete.
And it's doing something, you know. So,
Was my attempt at writing a Roy Orbison song, would you believe it? I wrote it in the other bedroom in my house at Menlove Avenue in Woolton, which was my auntie's place, the suburbs. I remember the day, and the pink Ida down on the bed, and I'd heard Roy Orbison doing Only the Lonely or something, and I was trying to please me. That's where that came from. And also, I was always intrigued by the words of "Please lend your little ears to my please," the Bing Crosby songs. I was always intrigued by the double use of the word "please." So it was a combination of Bing Crosby and Roy Orbison. Although the arrangement was made by all of us.
Imagine there's no heaven, no need for greed or hunger.
Okay, everybody, your bus is on its way to take you to Mr. McCartney's.
Standing in John's backyard. Now we're going to go to Paul McCartney's home. This is incredible. Look at this. Well, if you want to see some more episodes, click here or here for our next episode. That's right, there and there. Don't forget to drop us a line in the comments down below. And remember, who loves you, baby? We do. Thanks for watching.